Look around you. Comfort is killing people. Not bullets, not poverty, not failure. Comfort. Most are sleepwalking through life, numb, soft, distracted, blaming everyone but themselves. And you know what's worse? Some of them know it and still do nothing. This is your wake-up call. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. It's time to stop making excuses and start rebuilding from the ground up, because the version of you that got you here isn't strong enough to take you where you want to go. Victim mentality is a mindset where you believe the world owes you something, that your failures are because of what others did to you, and that you have no control over your circumstances. It's a mental prison disguised as comfort. When you operate from this place, you give away your power. You surrender responsibility for your life and wait for someone else to come fix it. But no one's coming. There is no hero at the end of this story, only you, either standing or staying stuck. People with victim mentality constantly talk about what went wrong, who hurt them, why they couldn't succeed, and how the odds were stacked against them. It sounds logical at first. Maybe their childhood was rough. Maybe their job fired them unfairly. Maybe they got betrayed. Sure, those things happen. Life's unfair, but so what? The real world doesn't reward excuses. It rewards action. Life doesn't pause for your pain. It keeps moving, and if you don't move with it, you get left behind. The real danger of the victim mindset isn't the pain itself. It's how it tricks you into thinking you're justified in staying weak. It feeds on your emotions. It tells you comfort is safety, that waiting is wise, that the system is rigged, so why bother trying? It numbs your drive and gives you a false sense of righteousness. You start to believe that since life hasn't been fair, you have the right to stay angry, lazy, and stuck. But here's the truth. You don't. You have the right to fight back. You have the right to rebuild. But no one will hand you that fight. You've got to choose it. You can't rebuild your life while carrying a victim mentality. You have to kill it. You have to look at your life, own every single mistake, every wasted year, every bad choice, and take full responsibility, even for the things that weren't your fault. Why? Because responsibility gives you control. Blame puts your life in someone else's hands. Responsibility puts it back in yours. This doesn't mean you don't feel pain or acknowledge setbacks. It means you don't let them define you. It means you feel it, learn from it, and use it as fuel. People who rebuild themselves don't waste time crying about why things are hard. They accept that pain is part of the price, and they pay it in full. Victim mentality is seductive. It's easy. It feels good to be right and bitter, but it kills your future. It steals your ambition. If you want to rebuild, you have to burn that mindset to the ground. No more why me. Start asking what now. That's when the shift happens. That's when power returns. That's when the rebuilding begins. Discipline over motivation is one of the most important mindset shifts anyone can make when trying to rebuild themselves. Motivation is like a spark. It lights fast, burns bright, and dies just as quickly. Discipline is the engine. It runs whether the spark is there or not. The truth is, most people wait to feel ready before they act. They wait for motivation to hit them like a wave, to make the gym easy, to make work exciting, to make focus automatic. But motivation doesn't work that way. It's inconsistent, unpredictable, and soft. If you rely on it, you'll show up only when you feel good, and that means you'll show up rarely. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't ask for your mood, your energy level, or your excuses. It's a decision, a contract you sign with yourself and follow no matter what. You wake up early, not because it feels good, but because you said you would. You train, study, build, grind, not because you're hyped, but because it's what needs to be done. People who succeed long-term don't have more motivation. They have more control. They've trained themselves to act regardless of emotion. They've made discipline a habit, not a reaction. You can't rebuild yourself on feelings. Feelings are liars. One day you'll feel like a winner. The next day you'll feel like trash. You'll feel tired, bored, anxious, unworthy, and if you listen to those feelings, you'll never move forward. Discipline is the anchor. It's what keeps you steady when your mind is screaming to quit. It's what gets you through those 5 a.m. wake-ups, those nights when you're exhausted, those weekends when everyone else is out wasting time and you're still grinding. Discipline is freedom. It sounds harsh at first, but it's the exact opposite. When you master discipline, you become untouchable. You don't depend on motivation, people, or perfect circumstances. You just execute. That kind of consistency compounds day after day. It builds momentum, and that momentum becomes your edge. It separates you from the average. Anyone can work hard for a day. Anyone can post a quote or do one workout, but the man or woman who shows up day after day without fail, no matter what, that person becomes dangerous. That person becomes unrecognizable over time. The world respects discipline. Results respect discipline. And more importantly, your future self will respect it. It's not about being in the mood. It's about making yourself move even when everything inside you wants to stop. You think motivation is what makes champions. No, it's discipline when they're sick. Discipline when they're broke. Discipline when they've got every excuse to quit and they show up anyway. That's where the real transformation happens. That's what separates the weak from the unbreakable. Control your environment or your environment will control you. It's not optional. The people you surround yourself with, the spaces you spend time in, the content you consume, and the habits you reinforce every day are shaping who you are becoming, whether you realize it or not. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they live in toxic, weak, lazy environments that pull them down every time they try to rise. You can't rebuild yourself while staying in the same place that broke you. Look at your circle. Are the people around you disciplined, focused, and pushing themselves? Or are they complaining, settling, and wasting time? Energy is contagious. If your friends are aimless, unfocused, or constantly stuck in the past, guess what? You'll become just like them, no matter how ambitious you claim to be. You cannot outgrind your environment forever. Eventually, it will slow you down, wear you out, and make quitting feel easier than fighting. You don't have to hate people to lead them, but you do have to prioritize yourself if you're serious about change. That might mean cutting ties with distractions. That might mean moving in silence while others laugh at your discipline. That might mean spending more time alone so you can rebuild your mindset without noise or negativity poisoning it. That isolation isn't weakness, it's a forge. It's where clarity, focus, and inner strength are built. The same rule applies to what you feed your mind. You scroll junk, you think junk. You binge garbage, you become garbage. Every video, song, post, and conversation is either sharpening you or dulling you. If you spend hours watching people who complain, gossip, or glamorize failure, your subconscious absorbs that energy. If you want to change how you think, you have to change what you let in. Feed your brain like your life depends on it. Because it does. Listen to real voices, read powerful books, watch people who live with excellence. Give your mind a new standard to live up to. Even your physical space matters. Your room, your desk, your kitchen. Are they clean, organized, and built for discipline? Or are they chaotic, lazy, and full of distractions? If your environment makes comfort easy and effort hard, you're setting yourself up to fail. You can't rebuild yourself in a place built for collapse. You have to engineer a setting where focus is natural and progress is expected. Put your goals in your face. Remove your temptations. Make growth your default. Rebuilding yourself means becoming someone new. That requires stepping out of old patterns and old environments or where those patterns live. You don't have to wait for the perfect setup. You just have to start removing what weakens you and replacing it with what strengthens you. One decision at a time, one space at a time, one relationship at a time. When your environment aligns with your goals, the rebuild doesn't feel forced. It feels inevitable. Reinventing yourself relentlessly means refusing to stay the same no matter how far you think you've come. It's about killing comfort over and over again, even when you've made progress, especially when you made progress. The world doesn't reward who you were last year, last month, or even yesterday. It rewards who you are right now. Most people get trapped in the illusion of, I've done enough. They hit one goal, make a little progress, get a bit of praise, and suddenly they ease off. That's where decline begins. The moment you think you've arrived is the moment you start falling behind. You have to be brutal with your own evolution. You have to look at your life daily and ask, is this version of me strong enough for the life I want next? If the answer is no, and most of the time it is, then it's time to upgrade. That means change, that means discomfort, that means taking apart habits, beliefs, routines, and even parts of your identity that once worked but no longer serve your future. Reinvention isn't always loud. It's not always a complete collapse and rebuild. Sometimes it's subtle, waking up earlier, tightening discipline, dropping a bad habit, replacing a weak mindset, but it's constant. The world around you is evolving. Competition is getting sharper. Information is moving faster. If you're not adapting, you're falling behind. People who win in the long run don't rely on who they were. They destroy old versions of themselves as soon as those versions stop serving them. They let go of outdated beliefs, emotional attachments, and even relationships that can't keep up with their growth. It's not about being cold, it's about being committed to excellence. Reinvention requires honesty. You have to look at your own reflection and call out your weaknesses without flinching. That kind of self-awareness is rare because it's painful, but pain is where change begins. You can't fix what you won't face. If you're lying to yourself about your discipline, your consistency, your habits, or your results, then you're building on sand. Be ruthless with the truth. That's the foundation for a real rebuild. You're not meant to stay the same. You're supposed to evolve into someone more powerful, more focused, more resilient with every version. Reinvention isn't a one-time act. It's a way of life. You outgrow goals, you outgrow people, you outgrow mindsets. And when that happens, you don't cling to what's comfortable. You move forward without hesitation. You burn the old so the new can rise. Most people stay stuck because they keep trying to succeed as the same version of themselves that failed. They keep recycling old habits, old routines, old ways of thinking and expecting new outcomes. That's not how transformation works. You rebuild by becoming unrecognizable to the person you used to be. And then you do it again and again until a gap between who you are and who you used to be is so wide, you wouldn't even recognize your former self if you passed them on the street. Pain is the path. It's not the obstacle, not the punishment, not the sign you're on the wrong track. It is the way forward. Most people run from pain.